This is Allie.
And this is David.
And you're listening to
For the Culture.
I tell them take a picture, man. It'll last longer. Hit the gas on them. Hit a dance on them. Take no chance on them. Get the cash on them. Flip it fast on them. Take off the mask on them. Show the world who you are.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, David Linson. We're here again with For the Culture. And you heard on the intro that we have Allie Mooring and David Linson with For the Culture. Well, Allie is no longer with us, but she is still part of the podcast, and she will always be a part of the podcast. She moved back to the States, and we're still here in Germany right now. So with me are two other hosts that we have here on For the Culture. We have Theda and we have Petra. So I'm going to get them to introduce themselves real quick so y'all know again who they are and just get more familiar with them. So Petra, who are you and what do you do?
Hey guys, it's Petra again. I am a life coach. I'm a self-love enthusiast. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. And I'm so excited to be here again with you all.
Hi, I'm Theda. I don't have as many accolades as Petra, but I'm an active duty service member, and I'm just eager to get my foot in the door with podcasting.
Dope. Okay, so For the Culture, y'all know how our process goes. We just pretty much talk about things that are going on right now. And so we have tons of things since just last week.
Yes.
So we're going to start off with the Jordan Edwards story and the seemingly happy ending we got from it.
Yeah.
And I think seemingly we can use that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So Jordan Edwards is a 15-year-old young black man in Dallas County. He was murdered by Roy D. Oliver II, the police officer on duty. He was shot and killed. And on May 5th, Roy D. Oliver II was convicted of murder of Jordan Edwards and was sentenced to 15 years.
Yep.
What do y'all think about that?
15 years? I mean, go ahead, David. You could start.
I think that it's a small victory because I'm trying to think of like the big picture. So he was sentenced to 15 years, but parole is going to fall into place somewhere there. I don't know when he's eligible for parole, but let's say, for example, maybe he's eligible for parole in 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, but so I always got to look at it, though. The jury was asking for 60 years.
Oh, wow. How did he only get 15?
Because the judge chooses.
See, okay, now that you're telling me that, I don't think it is a happy ending because I think he should serve all 60 of those years.
Now, go ahead.
This 15 years is like a slap on the wrist, especially when it comes to drug convictions in this country. You get life for not killing somebody. So although I am, it is a small victory. A cop was held accountable. His partner testified against him, saying that he did not feel his life was in danger. I can get that, but then 15 years, I feel like that's a slap on the wrist.
But it's 15 years, though. We keep thinking, we talking about like in the scheme of what we're thinking about on the outside of it. Now, 15 years in prison as a white man who shot a black kid.
Maybe he'll be in
prison. I mean, the guards are going to protect him, though.
No, there's no
protection.
So? Not 24/7. There's no protection. Well, he is going to be in the room with these people. Like, he's going to be in the prison.
I mean, he might get beat up a time or two, but I don't think he's going to suffer. I personally don't think so.
Well, it's prison. You're supposed to suffer.
Yeah, true.
Well, listen, what he got, he deserves. And I feel, like I said, it's 15 years, it's cool. And I like to see that somebody's being held accountable. There have been too many cops that have been let go in these situations and have been, not guilty or not even convicted, not even charged.
Now, here's my question, though. Now, here's a big part of it now. They were let go. But after being let go, most of them were charged with the civil crime of murder.
Okay.
Now, it's no longer being the crime, murder, like for the state. It's for murder. So now they're suing these cops and everything. So if they were convicted of the crime, then the families wouldn't have been able to sue.
Okay.
So the family gets something now.
If the family wins
if they sue the person, not the police departments in the cities.
It's blood money.
Yeah. So the question is, yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like, okay, so what would it would be? What is really justice? What would a family consider justice? Is it money, or is it this person actually admitting guilt,
right.
accepting guilt, accepting that they made a mistake?
And then being punished for that.
I'm not so privy with saying, oh yeah, I'll be down for $2 million.
I can't say that.
Right, but I'm complete. Now that was all speculation. I'm not actually positive how that's the process that works, but I would assume it was something like that personally, but I could be completely wrong.
I mean, it's like the Alton Sterling's family. They made a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, not like, oh my gosh, it's okay, but they made a couple $1 million for his it wasn't Alton Sterling, Eric Gardner.
Oh
in New York. Yeah. So
what I find amazing is that this happened in Dallas.
That's the thing too. That this is a red state.
Right, but Dallas isn't like. Let me tell you something about Texas. I'm from Texas, everybody. I want everybody to know I'm from Sherman, Texas, 60 miles north of Dallas. That's where I am from.
Plug it in.
Now the 903 Grayson County, now Texoma area. So that's where I'm from. But here's the thing about that with Texas. Now it's a red state, yes, but go to Austin, go to Houston, go to Dallas. Those aren't red cities. Period. Okay. Like you're not gonna. It's just not what it is. But again, the higher ups there's a lot of racism in Texas that you just don't realize when you're from there, that you don't see until you move to a Maryland or a DC or a New York or something like that.
Dang, they was racist down there.
Yeah. Like you don't realize it until you're not there. Right. You don't realize it until you're not there, and then but it's big that it happened in Texas. Like now, I wish it could happen in like Tennessee, or Mississippi.
Right
now, it sounds bad because then another black kid has to die.
Right.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying with these things that are already happening, can we get some justice in these other areas?
Right.
Yeah.
Because we hear about maybe one or two a month or one a month. We've gotten so desensitized by it, but we forget that there are murders by the police department all the time.
Yeah.
We're just not seeing. Now, there's all kinds of murders going on in this country. Now, I'm not trying to just say that the police murders are the worst, because anybody who murders anybody in our country should have to deal with the consequences.
I feel like the police are put in to protect us and to provide a service.
They are.
And they are people and they are humans, but I don't think that they're trained properly.
No, I
don't think that they have the training that they need, because a lot of them, it might not be the fact that it's a little boy, it's the fact that they have a fear because of a race. Mm-hmm. And it might not be the child, it might just be the color of his skin. Mm-hmm. And that is a totally different topic. Mm-hmm. And that's just my take on it. We need to provide them with better training. Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can train out of that. I'm sorry. I don't think it's something you can train out of.
That's how you are. That's how you are.
No. I'm not going to say that either.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like if you're brought up and you're taught that, then it takes a lot of work to undo that.
Right. It's more than training. Yeah. It's more than your police training.
Maybe it's an evaluation. Maybe it's
more than evaluation. Well, they need to go to therapy. Period. Like that's just what they need to happen. Yeah. If you're going to do this job, you should be cleared by someone who says this person is not biased and can think on the go. Mm-hmm. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be able to have this job.
Don't they have psychological
but you gotta come on. Now if they had psychological evaluations that were strict, then all this wouldn't be happening.
Would not be cops.
I'm about all of it, maybe some of it.
Oh, I said a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said a lot. And I said a lot of this wouldn't be happening.
Okay.
I think the case that still floors me to this day is the Philando Castile situation, the murder. That whole thing I just can't believe that the cop wasn't charged or any. I just can't believe it. Can't believe it.
It was very detrimental and very big for that part of the movement. It hurt us a lot,
especially
because he was doing everything he was supposed to do.
He did everything right,
and we still couldn't get a conviction. It was insane.
But then also this the social injustice. It's the system.
Yeah.
The system is not.
And we get it. What's good is though that we're getting it right now. So we aren't getting the 1960s. We aren't getting the 1940s and 50s. We weren't there then for the outright in your face, just this is
blatant
what racism is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a little bit. I feel like the racists are like coming from under the rocks because of just the climate that our country
right,
is.
but us getting it now is maybe this person that's doing it over there. He's not going to do it next to me. He's not going to do it in the middle of these mixed race of people who are going to jump on him just as fast as I am.
Right.
Now, it was different then because it was everybody around them.
Yeah.
And so to deal with that and to be a successful African American in that time, Aretha Franklin went through a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Aretha Franklin.
We just had her memorial service.
Yeah.
That was a production. That was an entire production. If I was there, I would have had lunch, breakfast.
Yo, how many costume changes did she do? Was
it
like 5? Yo, she was fly though.
You saw her shoes, her legs were crossed. It was not a game. And I was like, listen here, okay? The choir, I took my hat off to them. They sung their hearts out the entire time.
You got to.
How'd you guys watch it?
So it was live on Facebook. I didn't even watch it. It was on Facebook Live. And every time I would go into my Facebook, it was still
on.
there. And I was like, hold on. Is this like 8 hours? It was 8
You can watch it on
hours.
YouTube now as well.
8 hours?
It was supposed to start from like
I think
8 to 3.
it was a 5 hours.
I heard it was
hours.
5.
Sure
It was 5 hours.
Because, okay, hold on. It was supposed to be from 8 to 3, right? And then it started at 11. It was already 3 hours late. And I didn't see them get out of there until it was dark outside.
Nah, it was only 5 hours. The whole thing was 5 hours.
So I didn't see Grace.
But you got to think, it wasn't just hers. Remember James Brown's funeral?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Remember Michael Jackson's funeral?
Well, Michael Jackson deserves a week-long funeral.
Well, I mean, Aretha Franklin would too, then if that's the case.
Let's just say that.
No, see, you can't say that Michael Jackson deserves this, but Aretha Franklin and James Brown don't. Michael Jackson got half his stuff from.
No, Aretha Franklin,
James
she definitely
Brown.
deserved that production. I'm just saying, like, I can see people being like,
all right.
Okay.
No, hey, hold on. We talk about that. What happened? What do you think is going to happen when the Queen of England passes?
Yo, they gonna shut England down.
Thank you.
Yeah,
this was the Queen of Soul. This was the Queen of a part of what made us who we are.
Yeah.
Because that was our freedom. Music was part of our freedom.
Yeah.
We were able to escape all the crap going on in the world with our music.
Right.
And she was the queen of the music we had at that time. So you have to think she was the queen of something. She should have that because her music has taken people from every situation into moving them on. If it was they were going through a divorce, if they were going through a marriage, if they were going through childbirth, if they were going through just having a bad situation, her music was there for them.
Yeah, no, she was. It was revolutionary. I'm not even gonna lie, but I still feel like. When was her repass?
You can leave. No, you can dip.
When was the party after the party?
The next morning.
It
was the next morning.
I want to know who cooked. Who cooked that?
Who
repass?
made the macaroni and cheese? That's what I'm trying to know. Like
that food better been good. Like
if it wasn't good, it'd be. I'm sure a lot of people would have been on Facebook, Instagram, and it would mean.
I just sat through this 5-hour funeral and this macaroni and cheese.
But that many people didn't get to go to. You don't get to eat with the family. Now the family is having a few issues right now.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me something about that.
It was me. So the family is upset with the bishop's eulogy. Apparently the bishop said he made a comment about single. I'm sorry, I don't know what the quote was verbatim, but he said something about single moms. Aretha Franklin was a single mom to 4 kids, and so the family felt as if he was digging at her for being a single mom. But my question is, where did this bishop come from? Did they not vet him first? Like, did they not tell him what they wanted? Did they not tell him what they wanted him to say?
Here's the thing. I think the family need to sit down somewhere.
Okay.
Because they have been all through this. Like, whose family has come out and was saying that we don't want you to come to the funeral? No, shut up. He wasn't coming anyway. They just wanted to be in the news. Then, now they want to jump on the bishop. Now the bishop should have said this. The bishop should have said that. It was a eulogy. You chose him. He said what he was going to say. If you didn't want that, I said what I said. If you didn't want that, you shouldn't have hired that person.
On top of the fact, like, he did it. You guys chose him, so who's really at fault?
Right.
Yeah.
So they're just, it's almost like, remember the Jacksons after Michael Jackson passed? And then the Jacksons just started to, like, build this momentum.
Yeah.
And they were doing things to build that momentum.
Awful.
But, I don't even know none of Aretha Franklin's family, their kids, or any of them. So apparently they're not doing much right now. So don't try to use this to be something.
I haven't heard it either. I mean, like, and then the thing is that, okay, if you were upset with the eulogy, why do you have to call? I think it was on Fox.
Yeah, why
News.
you gotta call the news about it? Just tell the pastor, like, hey, bruh,
And
your
Fox
eulogy
News.
was
Fox
waxed.
News, right?
Fox News of all,
Fox.
and then, you know, they probably got paid for that.
They posted the wrong picture of your family member, but you gonna call them.
Yeah, no,
and talking about this same bishop, so the whole Ariana Grande thing.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'm gonna let you say what y'all gotta say, and then I'm gonna just disagree. So go ahead.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
I'm very big on being just understanding of people's space and respecting people's personal space. Now, however, I think that he may not have had any ill intent. I mean, he was in front of a bazillion people on the funeral, and he did I don't think he grabbed her any different than he grabbed anybody else. I think she's a little bit shorter. I think a lot of that played a part, but I cannot negate the fact that her face looked very uncomfortable when he did it. And from the pictures that I saw, that they posted on the gram or whatever, and her looking up at him or whatever, she looked uncomfortable. Now, the media is known to sensationalize how they present information. So if they were just trying to build a story, then that could have been why that picture was picked. But I could just say, especially as a person who is very big on personal space and just protecting it, if I made that face, I would have been uncomfortable. And that's just a little bit weird.
Okay, so I agree with you, but at the same time, I also feel like Ariana Grande has not come out and said that she felt uncomfortable. She has not come out and said that this pastor grabbed her in any appropriate manner. Now, Ariana Grande is a very outspoken person. I've seen multiple interviews with her where the interviewer has asked her a question that demeans her as a woman, and she has straight up told him, like, I'm not answering that. Do you ask males these kinds of questions? So she's a very outspoken person. So I think, this is just me thinking, if she were uncomfortable, if she did feel like she was assaulted in any way, shape, or form, then she would have said something by now. I don't know Ariana Grande to hold her tongue. Also, David watched the video earlier, and I asked him, I said, well, was she making faces at him? And he said, no, she was just listening to what he was saying. And I think the face she made was from a comment where he said her name sounded like an item on the Taco Bell menu. I think that's what that face was about. Like really, bro, you just said that? That's what I think, but...
Right, and here's okay, let me go ahead and say my thing.
Do it.
So, when you look at the video, the man, like you said, the man was in front of all these people. Mm-hmm. He was on live TV. Mm-hmm. He knew everything he was doing. The man might have even been a little bit nervous. Yeah. Because you see him after he grabs her. He's not like he's trying to reach around and grab her. Mm-hmm. He grabbed her. And I'm sorry, Ariana Grande is not the most...
She's tiny.
Full-figure person out there.
Yeah, she looks very...
And he had his arm around her. Even where his hand was, there was nothing he was touching.
I don't know.
And if you look at because in my time of knowing what this video that I've seen, he wasn't doing anything. And now if they look at the face, you can pause any video at any time.
And it'll be a weird face.
And get a weird face.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be frank here. That if there's a story to be made,
they're going to make a story out of it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It could very well be that. And Ariana Grande, I feel any woman that may feel uncomfortable, if she's outspoken enough, she'll say like, oh yeah, he made me uncomfortable or whatever. Pictures don't look good, but again, like I said, I find it hard to believe that you're in front of all these people and you're going to
grope somebody.
Somebody.
A bishop that they chose for this funeral, and then he knows what's going on,
and he knows he's on camera.
Right.
Everybody's watching.
Right.
You know, so I mean, it's a little bit funky, but again, that just goes to show the internet will run with anything.
Yeah.
And then here's again, like you were saying that she hadn't said anything. Mm-hmm. Now she hasn't said anything yet.
Yeah.
Now we can never negate the fact that someone could not want to say anything for a long period of time because of things they deal with, and we're really seeing that right now with Russell Simmons.
Oh yeah.
Because Drew Dixon. Yeah, Drew Dixon is accusing Uncle Russ of rape, a violent rape in 1995.
Okay, so just some background for me. I'm not familiar with who Drew Dixon is. She's
the music producer.
Okay.
She used to work for Def Jam.
Okay.
And say what?
An A&R?
No, she was the producer.
Okay.
So so in the night in question that everything happened, she's saying that Russell invited her over to his apartment for something business-wise.
Was it listening?
Yes, or a listening party or something like that. And he said the CD is in there in that other room. She went to go get the CD, and he showed up butt naked. like he just walks out like, yo, this is me.
Here I am.
Yeah. So he showed up butt naked. Then he violently raped her.
Oh my
God. That's what was said. That was what she said. Russell Simmons completely denies it.
Of course
he said it never happened. He said that even in 1996, they had a court case. There was a court case about unpaid finances that he was supposed to pay her. And this never came up.
Right.
He's also taken lie detector tests that prove that this has never happened. Since Drew Dixon's come out, 18 other women have come out to say that Russell Simmons has either harassed or assaulted them.
Okay, so when did she make her statement?
Recently.
Like within the past year, months, weeks?
Months.
Okay, because I know that another personality, she's been very vocal about the fact that I don't think Russell Simmons assaulted her, but he made an extremely inappropriate comment to her. They were at a table at a business meeting, and he looked at her and was like, "Have we blanked before?" Like.
So okay, this is my thing with this topic, and this is being 1995. I think at that time, and the things that were acceptable, socially acceptable, people did not look at this as like harassment. Like it was just
a violent rape.
Not violent. I'm not talking about the rape. I'm talking about just the accusations of.
Well, no, all the accusations are after that. 1995 seemingly is the jump off point.
Well, I mean, she didn't discuss this before. Like, you took him to court before. Why are you saying 1995? That's 20 years ago.
She probably didn't have proof. She probably didn't think anybody would believe her. There's a number of reasons why.
And so now with the Me Too movement and everything that's going on with that, she feels like she might feel safe.
She's got traction now. Like, we got all the people backing me. I can say something.
She might be lying.
The thing, it'd be hard for me to say a woman would lie about this. It would be hard for me.
But we have seen it happen,
right? But we have seen it happen. But it was just.
So I don't have that. I don't have that hurt anymore. Like from somebody to say that. I'm sorry.
I feel like maybe being in her headspace, if I were violently raped and I was afraid to speak out about it, I would at least go to the hospital and get a rape kit done. So if I change my mind, if I get strong enough or whatever in a few years, I can be like, you know what, I'm ready to pursue this, and we have your DNA on file.
But back in 1995, that wasn't available.
What, wasn't it?
No.
Did she continue working for him after?
Yes, she continued to work for a Def Jam.
That's sketchy.
Now.
But I think it would have been more sketchy if she would have just up and quit.
It would have, but it made more sense.
I mean, it would have made more sense.
Now, I'm not trying to negate. Okay,
right.
y'all, everybody, we're not trying to negate everything that she's saying. We're not saying that she is lying. We're not saying that what happened to her didn't happen. We're saying is that there is another side of it, and there's a possibility that this isn't true. That's what we're saying, everybody. We're not just negating who Drew Dixon is, because this may have very well happened to her. It's always possible. Bill Cosby proves that it's always possible.
This is what I'm going to say
Bill Cosby too.
About her behavior and such after going forward. Drew Dixon probably was like traumatized after it and said, I'm going to compartmentalize and continue to live my life as normally as I can. So going forward, she probably was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to continue to work at Def Jam. I'm going to continue to pretend like this never happened.
And I can't say I can agree with what she is going through, but I have been a victim of sexual harassment in the workplace, and I was not bowing out. Right. Like, you are not going to silence me. You are not going to fire me. You're not going to tell me that I have to sleep with you to keep my job. That's just me. And I'm sure there's a lot of other women that are like, you know what? You're not going to hold this over my head. So, right. I mean, there's different ways we could look at this. I mean, as women, of course, and as a man here, nobody would want to see anybody violently raped and be like, oh, yeah, he doesn't deserve it. If he's done it, then he's wrong.
Right.
Here's my question. Why now? Why bring it up now? 23 years
She could have gotten
later.
Triggered. Anything could have happened.
Yeah,
she could have heard a sound, a smell, a voice. Anything could have triggered her and brought her right back to that same spot in his house in 1996, 1995, whatever. And she's, oh crap, okay, I need to deal with this. He needs to pay for what he did.
Then why not go and file a police report?
In the first place?
Oh, and when you once that happens, once you get triggered, once that thing happens, once right now is the time that I'm able to speak about this. Now you might have to build up to that. Mm-hmm. Now if you can speak about it now, why not go file a police report?
Maybe she didn't know she had that option.
Instead of going to the news.
Maybe she didn't know she had the option to go to the police. Well, I don't know.
You don't go to the news first. If something happens to you, you go to the police.
I think there's two things. I think that the police are not as well. I can't say are not. In my experience, they're not as understanding with this
they don't
as
handle
they should.
Sexual
and number
assault
one,
well.
and number two, the Me Too movement has begun.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are making.
Way.
This has now become. We have, as women, as some women, this has become a societal norm. Only now are some women saying, you know what, this is not okay.
Okay, so you're saying that the Me Too movement surpasses law?
No, it's a past law, but now you feel like, because sometimes
people's gonna take you seriously now because we got other people saying that that's
still irrelevant though. Because I'm saying, why didn't she go to the police? Why didn't she file a report? Why didn't she bring charges on something that she said that criminally happened to her?
What's the statute of limitations?
It doesn't. That doesn't matter. Now,
maybe she exceeded it. Isn't it 18 years or something like that? If she
for rape, for violent rape, no, that's assault.
Oh, I don't know the statute. I don't know if there was like, oh, you can't, after a certain amount of time, you can't, this is no longer
we can double check. We can look it up, but that's assault.
If Bill Cosby can get convicted for stuff he did 30 and 40 years, I'm just kidding.
But he didn't get convicted for that. He got convicted for 2004.
Got you.
Within the limitations.
Right.
Got you.
So that's the crazy thing about it. Like, I don't, every time something like this comes out, instead of running to, you're Drew Dixon, really, we don't remember who you are.
Right.
You might have produced for a few people, cool. And this big thing happens, you see this movement, why not just go to police? Why not get the person arrested if that's what is your end game? What do you want from it?
Yeah,
that's my question.
Well, then you can't help but ask that question when you go to the news. I mean, like I said, you go to the police station, that's a whole different thing.
Now, if you go to the police station and they cover it up and they say nothing happened.
Maybe she was afraid that it was going to get covered up.
Quit saying maybe. See, that doesn't work because the thing is she didn't try.
Well, do we know she didn't go?
But how do we know she didn't try?
Because there's no police report for
How do we know that?
Because after she comes out to the news, that's the research that's done. And the research is she's never filed a police report. She didn't file it back in 1995. She didn't bring it up in the court case where she went against him and settled in court in 1996. And settled in court in 1996 across the table from him. Or then it took her, after that, it still took her, 22 years? Now, again, I'm not saying that she is lying, but I am saying that why come out in this manner?
It's just questionable. It's questionable. I agree. Her behaviors are questionable.
I think when you deal with emotions and feelings, sometimes things don't make the most sense.
And you don't think right. You think I can only imagine if this really happened to her. I can only imagine her state of emotions, her state of mind. And she apparently she did not make rational decisions in going forward. And she didn't make rational decisions either in releasing.
Well, she made great decisions moving forward because she moved up in the company. No, even then, she moved up in the company. She continued to grow. She continued to stay there as a producer. Then she sued him in 1996. And what was it? Oh. Okay, she sued. I can cut that out. She sued her in 1996, and it's just it makes no sense to me.
Listen, like I said, some people deal with things differently, and maybe she said, "Yo, you're not gonna take my career from me, so I'm about to just hold it down because I know I have
right, and
guaranteed, growth in this company." Who knows what she held over his head?
Yeah. And again,
but then take him to court and then sit across the table from him. There's certain things that I'm like, I don't know if I can sit across the table from him and look at him.
The fact that a lie detector test is what gets me. The 1996 court settlement that gets me. I just don't. I can't. Like I said, I can't say that this didn't happen to her because if it happened to her, my heart goes out to her and everything that she dealt with. I hope she never had to deal with. But at the same time, if this did not happen to you, then I think that you belong under the jail.
If she's lying and it comes out that she's lying, anybody who lies about rape or any of that
should go to jail.
Absolutely go to jail, get arrested, and there should be a charge for that because that is not okay under any circumstance. That's not okay.
I agree.
But my heart goes out to her also. Hopefully, like I said, because there are so many women that are battling with these very obstacles, that you're not taking this and using it as an opportunity or using it, as a way to kind of go to the news and make this a whole big debacle and it not be true, because there are women actually going through this every single day, that those women have such scars that they have to themselves repair. So
women are the strongest creatures I've ever met. And I don't say creatures in any derogatory sense.
I hope not.
So, you know what I mean. So with that, I mean, but like we deal with women, especially black women, deal with so much and so many different things that I can't even imagine. Yeah. Even seeing what my wife deals with as in her position and what she does, sometimes it's hard to see, hard to watch. But we also get to view that. We get to see women succeed and we get to see women grow, because Serena Williams, she's just participating in the U.S. Open where she faced off against her sister. Yeah. She won 6-2. Yo, how does it feel though? Like when you the big sister and your little sister
whooping your tail.
Yeah, every
time. Oh no.
Right. I'm super psyched for Serena. I think that she's had a journey coming.
Coming back,
coming from motherhood and learning how to juggle, and she took her time, and I love her husband's support. We talk about
awesome.
Women, how wonderful they are. Her husband is pretty dope too, because he's 100% in her corner.
I saw a tweet where he was like, someone asked me what it's like to wake up to one of the greatest athletes in the world, and he said one of like you mean the greatest athlete in the world?
He's dope. He's dope. Josh Dynamic is dope. So I like to see you sometimes people say that when you become a mom, you give up other things and you like how could you, you're going to give everything to have a child now and like not the opportune time, but then Serena comes in and she kills it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She kills it. And even with her, with her obstacles and her health concerns and obstacles, she's like, I'm here and I'm going to do it.
Okay, now when you said something, kind of took me off to a side conversation. So Serena's husband is not black.
Okay, here we go.
He's not. Now, you know where I'm going.
Yes, I do.
You know where I'm going with this.
We opened the can.
Yeah, we're about to open this can. There's a lot of black women who hate black men who date outside their race.
Let me speak on it.
Whoa. Let me finish what I'm saying.
I'm ready.
Who date outside their race. Now, I understand the ones who deny their race. I understand that. Okay. But why is it okay for Serena to date outside her race and everything is so hunky-dory and fine and girl power, black women, this, that, and the third, but when it comes to a black man who is happy and doing everything he can, even for the culture, but just doesn't have a black wife or a black girlfriend, why is it a problem?
I think the reason why it's an issue, I can speak for myself. The reason why it's an issue is because the most disrespected woman in the world is the black woman. And so for black men to know that and to not want to, I'm not going to say not want to, but to not take us along in their journey of success or what have you, it hurts. And I think to also be told from the time we're little, as little black girls, that we're not pretty enough, that our hair has to be straight, that our skin's not light enough, that all these things are wrong with us. And then for you not you per se, but for as black men are supposed to love us and pour into us, and then you go and worship a white woman who possibly possesses the same features that black women have, it's like...
It's like
Diet Coke.
I am mixed. My mom is Jamaican. My dad was Russian. So I'm already in the mixed category. However, yes, black women are the most hated women or just people on this universe. I get it. We see this every single day. We have so many things to overcome. But I highly doubt that it's the black man who is speaking ill of the black woman or that's the only black man that's entertaining a white woman.
Can you rephrase that?
Just because he goes to a white woman, I don't see him going to a black woman and just saying, you're not white enough or you're not pretty enough. There's men that are saying that, but who's to say that the man that's saying it is the man that goes to a white woman?
Okay. I think I'm confused.
So I think what she's saying is that not every man.
No, that's true. That's true.
But it doesn't matter. That's what men get lumped as. That's what men get pushed into. Because look at a Donald Glover. So so Donald Glover, he has an Asian girlfriend, baby mama, whatever you want to call her, all the above, and he was completely hated on because of his role in Atlanta. Because of
This Is America.
This Is America. So, but what makes these people say that he can't be black or he can't be pro-black because he doesn't date a black woman?
Because it seems like he's benefiting from the black struggle, but you don't want to have a black child. That's kind of what it's.
His child is
black.
No.
But
So he's benefiting from the black struggle, but is he also not participating in the black struggle?
And is he not building up the black woman?
I'm not saying that.
I know, but that's my question for people who think that, or because it's like, because no one cares, no matter, because they like, oh, he's with a white woman, but when it's a black woman with a white woman, it's like, oh, go girl, you do your thing. These guys ain't in it, it's like that.
In Serena's case, I understand why people are behind her because she's been scrutinized for her body type since she stepped in the game. And so by black men, by white men, by men, period, they always say she's
women also.
And women also. They always say she's too masculine. She look like a man. I don't want to be laid up with no man. Like, that's always been the comments. So I think that for her to find someone who accepts her for who she is, what she's got going on, I think that's good for her.
That trumps
exactly.
So wait, whoa. Then every man.
Let me finish. That's good for her. But then them same dudes that was saying she's too strong, she's too this, she's too that, are upset. But you wasn't checking for her in the first place. So why are you mad? That's what I don't get.
I don't think that those men are mad.
No, I really don't.
I don't think that those men are mad that she's with a white man. I think, like I said, I mean, and is he white or is he some? He's some kind of a.
I don't know.
Yeah,
he's not.
He's
black.
white passing.
Yeah. He's not black.
I feel like
he's European.
Yeah.
So we don't know what he is precisely, and I'm not going to look it up right now because I really don't care too much. My point was that I hate that double standard. I hate that it's even with everything goodness gracious, even with everything you just said, that black women deal with all that. It's not like black men don't deal with something similar. Even if it's not the exact same.
Everybody loves a black man. Everybody, I'm not going to say everybody.
Even when you come to Germany,
they always want a black man. Japan, I was in Japan, them Japanese chicks love black dudes. Germany, love black dudes.
Have you seen German girls
It's not the same for us. The black dudes will ditch us and go get a German chick.
And the German men will go and get a black woman.
I haven't seen that yet.
My dad was Russian, and let me tell you something. He said it. Black women are the most beautiful creatures on this planet.
That is a fact. But
it is a fact.
I haven't seen no German dude leave his German chick to go get a black girl. I haven't seen that
shit. You don't have that many German friends now.
You don't know that. You don't know my life.
If you had that many, you speak German. You speak Deutsch.
Whatever.
So it's not like it's not happening all across the board. Yeah. And so I hate when people are saying, you can't date this race or you're not pro-black. Stop. That doesn't make sense. You can be pro-black and you can date whatever race you want.
Right.
You can be pro-black and you can do whatever you want. Because if you're building the black culture, then be you.
Right. I don't care about interracial relationships. My issue is let's say you're a black man, you're dating a white woman, and someone asks you, well, why do you prefer white women? And your response is why you don't like black women. That wasn't the question. Just say you hate black women and go.
That's a small group of people.
And I
don't know that the group is that small. I really feel like it's a larger group of people that, like the example you were giving us earlier. And I met someone who doesn't date black women based off his experiences. And that's fair to say. But what you got to realize is those bad experiences that you had with black women, you can literally have with anybody. So it's not fair to marginalize a group and say that, oh, all these people are this way just because of my experiences.
I think we all are victims of that. I think that some people
victims are guilty of that.
We all are guilty of doing that. And even you go to a certain place and like, oh, those people from over there. I mean, Brooklyn and the Bronx. They're from the uptown. Oh, nah. Like it kind of just goes that way. But I think the one thing with maybe black women and white women is that white women have such a sense of privilege already. And I'm not sure if it's so prevalent amongst the white man, but as far as the white woman, because I could speak on our experiences and our interactions, it comes down to like they feel superior, and then when they get a black man,
it's like
I'm
better.
I am better than you because you're.
That is not every white woman.
Oh no, we're not saying that. We're not saying it's every.
It's not every woman, but there's white women who have a sense of
then
entitlement.
why bring that up and also not bring up the white woman who just loves people and she fell in love with a black man? You can't. There's no reason to bring one up without the other.
No, you can say that because then there are white women who go against their entire family for the person that they love. So it can go either way. I'm just giving you for instances. Like, this is a fact. You walk into a black woman will have to work 10 times harder than a white woman in corporate America. That's a fact. That's just what it is.
Those aren't facts. Those are
But
they aren't facts. No. You said 10 times harder. That's not a fact.
All right,
so I'm talking about
harder in a sense.
Yeah, they will.
You have to work harder because you already have obstacles that you have to overcome. Whether it's because of you or because of what people's feelings, whatever it is, you have to overcome an obstacle out the gate. Okay,
right.
So then that builds a complex. Mm-hmm. We can't say all white women, but that's what unfortunately happens. And again, for me, it puts me in a difficult position because again, I am half white. My family is white, but let me tell you, my grandmother, my dad's mom, she did not want my parents to get married. Why? Okay. She wasn't racist. I thought she was a little racist when I was growing up. Like, oh, she's racist. She don't like black people. But she's like, no, it's a culture thing. Your mother has one culture, and we have another culture, and the culture barriers are great. It's a huge cultural barrier. I understand now as an adult, but again, it gets sticky when it comes to race. That's just how I feel.
Right.
It gets very sticky, and I don't want to say because of a black man and a white woman is any different from a white woman with a black man, vice versa. I don't want to say one is better than the other because we shouldn't be putting black men down for going after what they feel. But
now, Theda, back to what you were saying. You were saying that you don't think the group is that small.
Right.
Now, I think that you have to look at the group that you would be really sampling. So we know that about 30% of adult black men are in prison, right? So let's take that number drops so much more.
Right.
Then on top, let's take that number and let's go with the LGBTQ community. If that's not something that you want to be a part of, you don't want to have that relationship, then let's take them out.
Okay.
So now you have a smaller group.
Okay.
Now from that group, how many of them are on an intellectual level or a path that you would want to deal with? So now we drop that down to about 15-20% of that group. So now you're looking at such a small group of people that there are probably tons of men out there who think totally opposite of what we're saying here. But since your sample group is so small, all it takes is a few to say one thing, and it's a big percentage. So that's why I think we have a problem as a community saying that all people do this, they all do that, they're all this and they're all that, because we're talking about our sample group.
Right.
Nobody told you to keep dealing with the same type of dude.
And that's what it comes down to.
True.
It comes down to the fact that you are dealing with the same dude, and you met all dudes. No, all dudes that you pick. Like Pat Williams said.
You got this whole list of things they gotta be. You gotta be 6'2". You gotta have a 6-figure
But you ain't got nothing to offer.
Right.
But some curves.
But the thing is that
But
also,
then there's the women who do have something to offer.
Yeah, true.
Right.
You have the women who are also making 6 figures. You have the women who are also 5'11". You have those who want somebody 6'2" because they 5'11".
Right.
Yo,
That's fair.
And I understand that. But see, the thing is that then there's some other people who got that part-time job at McDonald's, who's living on welfare, who's getting 2 or 3 different checks from different places off disability, and they're talking about you got to be 6'2".
Nah,
you need a master's degree.
You need to sit down.
You need to have insurance. You got to have investment. Where's your 401k?
Where's your 401k?
Yeah, when did you invest in cryptocurrency? I don't care about any of that. You're not at that level to want those things.
Want those things, right?
But so you're looking in this demographic who are saying that they don't want that person.
Right.
And so now all men are this and all men are that. We keep talking in these broad sentences saying that it's all the people that you mess with.
That's true.
That's fair.
So I get tired of everybody going out and just lumping men together, especially black men.
Yeah.
Because no matter what forum you go on, no matter where you go, the black man is this and does this.
I have a question. This is kind of random, but have you ever met a black man and you automatically know he doesn't have a black wife? Like, just off your interaction? So
it depends on the type of person we're talking, or the type of interaction.
Okay.
Now, people who are like, I just meet them somewhere and we're not, you can't tell. Men are not that far into that.
Okay.
I can have a conversation with somebody all day long. I meet you, oh, okay. And might tell me a little more about you, I feel, or may not. But the thing is, it depends on how that person is. Now, if that person is trying to code switch to obtain that white wife, yeah, you're going to be able to tell that. But if it's just somebody who just fell in love with someone who just happens to be white, no, because it's just them.
It's just them.
Yeah, because then when their wife comes around and you're like, oh, but she's so dope. Like,
they're the same.
They're the same people. It doesn't matter what their
I've ran
nationalities
into
are.
a couple of black men where right off the bat I could tell, like one in particular, just the way he interacted with me versus the way he interacted with other women, I could tell right off the bat that his wife wasn't black. Like, it was like he was intimidated. Like, he just met me. It was like he was intimidated by me, and it was really weird. And he showed me pictures of his wife later, and she wasn't black.
Right.
So, I haven't had any of those. I don't really know by my interaction. But
I married a black woman. I've dated lots of different races. I just have. This is what it was. I've dated a Korean woman, a Cantonese woman. I've dated a Spanish woman, white woman. I've dated across the board, Caribbean. I've dated a lot of women. Well, I can say a lot of women. I've dated women that were different
nationalities.
I married a black woman, and I married that black woman because of who she was, not because of the color of her skin, not because of the way her hair is, not because of the way just because of who she was.
But isn't it nice to be with someone who can relate? Like, you don't have to explain not that you explain everything, but you don't have to explain certain things too.
I mean, you can have that same situation with somebody else who grew up in the same situation you did. That's true. That you wouldn't have to explain. Because there's things she grew up in the city. I grew up in the country. Yeah. So there's things I still have to explain to her. She doesn't know about doing certain things that you had to do in the country.
Country?
Yeah.
City girls don't have any idea about that.
Yeah, she's from Detroit. Yeah. I'm from Sherman, Texas, Grayson County, 60 miles north of Dallas, Tex over. But that's where I'm from. And that's what I remember when we first started dating and everything, I'd be in the house, the door would be unlocked. I wouldn't lock my car.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm down south. Because
city,
down south,
city.
you don't have to deal with that. Like, in the country, that's not, because everyone knows everyone. If somebody steals something out of my car, somebody going to tell me who it was. Like,
gonna see.
Right. Isn't that David? That's how it's going to be. But her being from the city, like, you don't even rent a nice car to go there because it will get stolen.
Oh yeah, that happened to me in Cleveland.
Cinder blocks. That car would have no
If you're in the city, that's the possibility. You don't have that in the country.
That happened
So for her being black, there's certain things, that we've both had to deal with as black people.
Right.
That is amazing that we don't have to talk about it. We can see and we can differentiate in a situation.
Right.
So we can be out and like, okay.
Y'all give each other that look or whatever. Yeah, y'all know what's going on.
So we're going to go ahead and leave.
we're going to bounce.
Yeah.
Now, if I had a white wife, then that when she might not have picked up on that. Like, they being raised. No, they just being who they know.
No,
they're not. No. And either we fighting or we leaving.
Yeah.
So pick one.
And I ain't trying to go to jail.
We either fighting them or we leaving.
Right.
Pick one.
My brother's friend had a girlfriend that was a different race, and she used the N-word. And they had to sit down and discuss why she should not be using the N-word. And I was like, that's an interesting conversation. Because she's like, well, you guys use it. And then it comes down to like this whole like conversation. And you're like, but you can't. And you just can't use the word. Like, you shouldn't use it. I mean, should they be using it amongst themselves? That's another story for a different day. But she did not understand. It took 2 hours, a 2-hour conversation as to why she could not use the N-word. Some of those obstacles, could be something that could be a little bit, a little friction.
And speaking about the N-word, the man who probably got called the most N-words in the last year, we're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick. He just received a Nike ad. He just got an endorsement from Nike.
Yeah.
He was endorsed before from Nike when he was an NFL player.
But they extended it or redid it or something.
Yeah, they redid his contract because, and they did it completely different. So now, as a non-NFL player, he got an endorsement from Nike.
Yep. How dope is that? I mean, the entire 30th anniversary ad was super, 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 super dope. And I like the message, and I feel like we are really trying to build a real legacy. And I'm happy for him, especially because, you know what, a year ago, he probably was like, I'm losing my career. I'm losing everything that I worked so hard for what I believe in. And he stood firm in it. And he was like, I am going to commit to this. And look, like what he has gained is so much more fulfilling and so much more profound than what he left.
Also, the case that he filed, the grievance he filed against the NFL is scheduled to go to trial. That was announced this past Thursday.
Yeah.
And I also found this really cool article online, and it was written by a white guy, and the article is Colin Kaepernick was right about us, white America. And he just goes on to say that by Colin Kaepernick protesting, he exposed white America. Like, by you getting angry, he's exposing you. He's telling you exactly who you are. By you ripping up your Nike jerseys or what have you, you're telling him that he's right.
Everything that he's saying, you guys are
you're doing it, and you're doing it.
This is now facts. I mean, I think that this was the timing was awesome, because when does this NFL season start? In a couple of days.
A couple of days, yeah.
So, and if they drop this bomb a few days before the season kicks off,
yeah,
especially with all the controversy with the NFL just in general and kneeling.
I think Nike is pretty bold for doing that because they do also have a relationship with the NFL. And
the NFL wouldn't be who it was without
right.
Nike.
So
and they will never be able to tarnish that.
And Adidas won't. Adidas not going to pick it up. Under Armour's not going to pick up the slack. It's not going to happen. So they know the NFL can only do so much when it comes to other endorsements.
Right.
They already lost Papa John's. Now what are going to happen next?
Right, Papa John's.
Lose Nike. And lose Nike on a moral issue. Now with the Papa John's, they lost Papa John's. Or they were both moral issues.
Yeah.
But they were on the wrong side.
Right.
So now let's lose Nike on a moral issue. So first it says that the NFL is immoral.
Right.
And they lost one of their largest endorsers. It's crazy.
So Nike is also scheduled to produce Kaepernick apparel, so shoes and T-shirts, and they're also going to donate money to his Know Your Rights campaign.
I wonder how much he's getting paid, though.
Yeah.
If he's getting paid.
I don't see
why he wouldn't be getting paid.
I could see him getting paid, but I could also see him this being something that's not making him that much money either.
Probably not.
It's Nike, though. I mean, we got to keep, and they're doing a whole line. It is Nike, and so all these, you got to think about your Nike endorsements. So you have like your Kyrie Irvings and things like that who are endorsed by Nike. They make money now. It's not like they're not making money. Now he might not be making the
as
NFL money he was making. But he could be, because if he's the face.
And the thing is that he also, he has the opportunity to sell the apparel. Let's see how well that does, because that's also going to go see who's exactly supporting him.
And I'm sorry.
What have they gained, because he is now the face of the entire campaign.
And Nike's whole thing is that they're hoping that the apparel goes well, because their goal is to, if he sells well, his apparel, what have you, it's like putting it back in the NFL's face. Like, you said that this person was a problem, but look what he's doing.
You know what? Nike doesn't care.
Nike's making money.
Right.
Nike's trying to make money. But the thing is that the reason why I think what the campaign that they did, they had the guy with the one arm who made it into NFL as one of the
I think his name was Shaquan Griffin. I'm probably saying it wrong.
I have it on my phone. They have Odell Beckham Jr. They have Serena. They have a little girl playing tennis. I feel like the entire message. Yeah, no, it was a different slide.
Oh, Shaquem Griffin, that's his name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, probably saying it wrong.
And his says, who would ever think a kid like me would go pro? And he was like, me. It's just, all of it is just very deep. It's showing substance. And I think that right now in what's going on now, especially for us, we need to see substance.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's still marketing. Like they did that to pull that from us. So now because Nike doesn't care.
How you know they don't care?
Because the same people we're talking about all the time that don't care are the people who head Nike. The people that we say are not looking out for this group of people or that are disenfranchising this group of people are the heads of Nike.
I think they also have a lot to lose, though. I do feel like they are going to lose some. It might not be a lot, but they will lose. They will lose some people because of the stance that they have chosen. Colin Kaepernick is not the most well-liked person right now. He really isn't. It could be to ruffle a few feathers, you know, but people are already burning their jerseys, for God's sake.
So stupid.
I mean, it happened
I had
3
a buddy-
years ago. Like, what are you doing right
People
now?
don't know how to protest, man.
I had a buddy say that
Boycott, I should say.
if you're going to burn this jersey, you can just give it to me. I'm fine.
Facts.
I'll take it. The
Give me your
socks, the
shoes,
shoes.
the socks, right? The hats. I'll wash them.
So, and then it's like, so are we really going that hard just because they have, they are now the face of the campaign is somebody who stands so firmly in something that they believe
And they're
in?
just proving the point that he's making. That's all. They're too dumb to realize it.
It's just interesting to see that just because you don't agree with somebody, you'll go to those lengths and those extremes.
Why can't you just agree to disagree?
This man has been consistent in his message since he kneeled and since he made the decision to protest. He has stood firm in that, and people don't have to like it. I mean, they don't have to respect it either. But the fact is that he is consistent with who he is and what he stands for. And I know a few people that probably respect that and just say, "Listen, I might not agree with it, but."
Nike made $3.2 billion last year with a B. $billion.
Not surprised.
They can lose 1 or 2% and be good.
And be fine.
Well, I'm sure they were not going to sign up for a loss that would put their entire company at risk.
No, because there's nothing this movement is big enough to do to make a company go.
You don't think that it's big enough?
No, our movement has not been big enough. Our movement is segmented. It's this group saying this thing. It's this group saying this thing. This group fighting for its small little step, while this group is trying to fight the largest step. Now that's the problem we have. So what happens is, let's look at anybody we said we're going to boycott in this time frame. The company's still up.
Yeah. The
company's still moving. The company's still making revenue.
I think it's because when we say we're going to boycott, we don't all boycott.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So our movement isn't strong.
There's no unity.
There's no power behind that movement. So until we all come together and decide that we're going to make it, doesn't matter. Nike's never going to lose enough money because because there's not enough people who hate Colin Kaepernick that much who's even putting in that much money to Nike.
Well,
You think they lost? You think their what am I trying to say? Their shares dropped.
They did. I heard they did.
Yeah,
but 3%. I mean, that's only because now it's an opportunity to buy. That's all it is.
And that was probably only the shares in America. Don't forget, there's Nike London. There's Nike every
Everywhere.
market. There's a Nike. So their shares are still high. Nike Mexico is crazy. Like so you gotta look at things like that. Because they're not. And if black people are the ones who are purchasing the majority of Nike gear. Who you think? So even if they lose this small group,
They still gonna get our money.
their demographics are different.
They probably know who buy.
A lot of people, aside from Colin Kaepernick, a lot of people have been upset with Nike recently because they released a line of, I'm probably going to pronounce this word wrong, but they released a line of hijabs. Am I saying that word right? Nike released a line of hijabs, and a lot of people were upset about that. But what is there to be upset about?
It's people just being mad for no reason.
So that's looking for something when there's nothing.
Just reaching.
And then you're looking at the news, and you're only seeing maybe one person wrote a letter, or maybe a small group of 13 people decided their organization. And that's what the news is going to talk about. They're going to be like, there's an organization out here doing this,
There's
that,
probably
and the third.
not. It's like 2 people.
Yeah, and that's all they go. Anybody can incorporate and become a company and say that this is where they want to go after, or a nonprofit. So yeah, let's create a nonprofit and go after something. But I think that our movement just isn't powerful enough. And if we were to make it powerful enough, then we would be able to do something. Look at the things that we try to move along in our culture right now. When we really want something, we move it and we make it happen and we push it and it becomes. But the second that we segment and we say, well, I'll do it, or I don't feel that way, then that's when we have our issues.
Yeah, because it's not like a united front always moving. Well,
it's like herding cats. Have you heard of that saying?
We I like it.
Can you imagine what would happen if every black NFL player said that they're not going to play?
Oh my God.
Well, I'm surprised that not surprised that it had to happen. I'm disappointed that happened.
I am too.
Because
I'm not disappointed.
Why not? I mean,
I'm not disappointed because I don't see people over here working at Walmart saying that they're going to put their job on the line for the movement. I don't see people working, even in the office building, working at Procter & Gamble or working at all these other companies saying, I'm going to put my livelihood and my life and my family's well-being on the line for a movement. I don't see them doing that.
But do they have the same reach that other NFL players have? That's another thing.
But it doesn't matter.
They have my thing is that, of course, if you stand firm in something and you believe in it, you have to see it through. A lot of people are not in that position, which doesn't mean the fact that if you keep your job, but you're still fighting a good fight, it's some other way that you're doing that. But like Colin Kaepernick and other NFL players or just people in general, public figures, have this platform. And I feel like sometimes we're doing the culture a disservice by not using it properly. Not to say that you have to hop on every bandwagon or, fight every good fight, but for what you in your heart really believe in and what you really stand for, which we've seen from Colin from the very beginning. He lost his job.
Yeah, but Colin had millions before that.
No.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying with that part. He had millions before that, so he lost his job. He could survive on dealing with what he was dealing with. Now, let's talk about that rookie who just got in the league, who feels the exact same way Colin Kaepernick does, who is the only person who's bringing his family along with him, who is paying his mom's rent, who he's only making $80,000 a year, and her rent costs $40,000. So he's living on that. You want him to sacrifice his job and he's just in the league? No.
No. He shouldn't sacrifice his job to it's whatever capacity that you're able to do it at.
Right, then you can't say that we want it. Then we can't say that the whole NFL should have protested, because then if that case, every employee at Walmart can protest, and that's even a bigger impact in the NFL.
Facts.
I mean, the reason why I say the NFL, I feel like if they all protested, then the NFL would have no choice but to cave. If you don't have these players playing, you don't have the NFL, you have no games, you have no organization. They would have to do nothing but to cave and to find some kind of agreement.
The NFL would.
Right.
But here's the thing. If you protest at Walmart, the economy changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Period. Mm-hmm. And it's not like they're all gonna go over to Target. No, if they're protesting at Walmart, they're gonna end up protesting Target. They're gonna end up protesting until a change is made. Mm-hmm. So I can't just put it on these NFL players, because I understand. Mm-hmm. I understand that there's people out here who are not willing to sacrifice their livelihood for the same thing they're asking these kids to do.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, if you're not willing to sacrifice, then you shouldn't be the one to sit here and expect people to sacrifice their livelihoods for it.
Right, but we know how social media is.
That's a whole different story.
Right.
But like, I hate to say this also, but it could also be some people in certain demographics don't have the education, don't know they don't know what avenues they have to be able to make a change. Mm-hmm. Is that an acceptable excuse? It's not, because we all have the opportunities to find the information that we need and to be able, if I believe this, but then it also goes to show who really knows what they really stand for, what they believe in. That's
right.
And that's like another thing. Like, what do people really know what they stand for?
Or they just going along with
what everybody says? What the wave is. The wave right now is let's kneel. Yeah. Do we know why we're kneeling? Do you believe why they're kneeling? Do you think that that you can make a change by kneeling? Because that's really what it comes down to.
I think you can make a change by kneeling. I think that there is symbolism means something, but I think after you make the symbol, you need to work somewhere else also. Yeah. You can't just
do this and that's it.
Right. You have to do that. Then you have to talk to your Congress people. Yeah. You have to talk to people who make rules around you and make changes to situations you feel are unjust. And even if in arguing that point even makes changes. If you can turn one person with what you're doing, you've made progress.
Absolutely. Because if one person is one person, and what's one person is one person. Right.
So that's what I think. That's what I feel on that. And a lot of people are boycotting the NFL right now because of the decisions they made about kneeling. Some people are still kneeling and getting fined. Some coaches don't care, and that I like that.
Was it the Jets that were like? Was it Jets or Giants?
I'm not sure which one.
I think I was one of the two. I'm a Jets fan, but they were like, "Go ahead and kneel."
Yeah.
We're going to pay for every fine. Don't worry about it. And again, you could appreciate that kind of a backing because
right.
you know what you're standing for. But again, yes, congressmen, voting, everything that you're able to do to raise awareness. That's really what it comes down to, raising awareness and letting people know that we are serious about making some changes. But if we're not all doing whatever we can in our capacity, it isn't as recognized. It's not as powerful, and it's not going to make the changes that we need to make.
So Theda, what do you feel is the biggest change that could be made this year that could affect Black life in America?
Oh, wow, that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question, but even if it's, because it can be the most minute thing, it will make a big change. Not the large. Okay, let me change the question. Not make the biggest change in the Black community. What's something that you think that one person can do to make a change?
One person, that's something. One thing that one person can do.
Yeah.
I think if one person can change their mindset, and then talk to two other people, and get them to open their mind and change their mindset, and so on and so forth. As far as the what am I trying to say? As far as having a closed mind or thinking. Okay, so a good example would be like, for me, I'm in the military, and a lot of people that are in the military think that this is all I got, this is all I can do. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you can take the blinders off people and make them see that there is so much more that you can be doing than what's right in front of you.
Right.
And there's more that matters than your front porch. Mm-hmm. I think that if we can teach each other things like that.
If we can get past
ourselves,
personal limitations.
If we can get past our personal limitations and our own selves, then I think that that's a starting point.
Okay, so that's what you think that we could do, a single person can do.
Yes.
Petra, what do you think a single person could do to make a change in the foreseeable future of Black people?
I like your answer. That
Thanks.
was really good. I feel like we could invest more in Black businesses.
Yeah.
Black-owned businesses, Black banks, really boost up the Black economy, and that also shows a sense of a united front, that we're here to support your dreams.
Other.
We're here to support your drive. We're here to support your hustle. And, you know, we want to see us grow. That's another thing. I don't think that we really support each other in the manner that we should, because if we did, there would be more of a united front. I have, people say, oh, I want to support Black businesses, but Black businesses make things difficult, or they're not as this, they're not as that. And it sucks because it's like, wow, we really want to support each other, but then something happens that it doesn't allow us to do that. And that's I think, is a huge area of opportunity.
Okay. So mine kind of is on with both of you. Mm-hmm. I think that we just need to talk to one another and find Black people or any person in general, and just say, yo, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what you're doing. Let's work together and build. And the Black community does not do that. They do not build together. I know people who would rather pay another community of people money and then ask you for a discount.
So can I speak on that very quickly? And I'm just going to be 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. I am very big on just trying to work with what I know, with my friends, trying to, support their businesses and their dreams. But sometimes when you do that, and it's like, oh, well, I did you a favor, or, oh, I'm going to come to your event 4 hours late because you're my homie. Yeah. That makes it very difficult for a person who wants to support it, who came to support it, and you treating me like I'm your homegirl, but I'm not paying for a service. And that's frustrating. That is very frustrating, because it's like, I told you this is my budget, or I told you this is what I need. You said, I got you. I paid for the service, because at this point I'd pay you before I pay, somebody over there, because I know you, and you come and you give me half your effort work. Yeah. That is the problem. So then it's like, for me, it's like, okay, I know enough people that I've exhausted that option, but I know another person that could provide the same service, or I can, try to network and I'll still do that. But I can see people I'm not going to do that anymore, because a friend of mine thinks that my time is not valuable, or whatever the case is, and they wouldn't treat another paying customer the way they would have treated me. Like, you did me a blind. No, you didn't do me a favor. It's a service that was paid for. You know what I'm saying?
It comes down how you react as a person who is providing the service to that person.
Right.
Because a lot of people let that friend walk over them, or they just let it slide under the rug because they believe that the friendship is more important. Nah. My thing is this. My mother-in-law says that you should not be a landlord until you're able to kick your mother out of a house on New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. If you can't do that, you shouldn't be a landlord. You shouldn't own property. And that's what she told us before we bought our house. You shouldn't own property and rent it out unless you can do that. And that's the thing. I think that we need to be, when a friend or a person that we're familiar with comes and treats us that way, hey, you know what? Treat them like a customer, any other customer that would be there.
Right.
So we need to quit trying to use kid gloves with our friends and kid gloves with the people who we think are going to help advance us or boost us. Now if it's a business deal, cool. But because Petra, if you use my services, you're going to pay.
Absolutely.
And that's just how it is. If someone uses my service, we're friends. We are friends. But if you use my services, you're going to pay.
But this is the thing, David. I would rather come and pay you more than I would pay somebody else.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't come to you like, oh, you're going to give me a discount for a service that I know I can pay for, or if I know I was going to pay somebody else. Now, you've done things for me outside of, for my business and stuff.
But that was mutual.
Right. So, but I'm saying, I need you to do pictures of my son. You give me a price. Another person gives me a price for whatever reason. I'm going to go with you. You're available, even if it's $10, $20 more, because at this point for me, you're my friend.
Right. I'm
going to pay you because this is your way of making a living.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm contributing to your vision, your business, your everything. This is what you do. Especially you, because this is what you do.
And we also have to keep the business side business.
Yes.
And y'all have to, and people don't think that way. People think I can show up late for this, or I don't have to be there right for this, or I can do this, that, or third because they're my no.
That's unprofessional.
When you deal with me and it comes to business, everyone knows you usually get contracts. You get set times. If you aren't there at a certain time, I give you a grace period and I leave. You'll be there by yourself. That's just how I work.
No, but the thing is that if it was somebody else, that would be the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not like what you're doing is like, out of the norm. You're doing exactly what another person would be doing. And should I expect you to stay 15 minutes late because I run 15 minutes late? No, my time isn't. This is my time. You're paying for my time and my services. So it's absolutely right. And the contract is another thing. I made mistakes and I was like, oh, my friend, so I'm not going to sign a contract. Pity and shame on me for doing that, because I didn't know enough at the time to say listen, we're cool and everything, but this is business and this has nothing to do with our personal relationship. I need a contract. I need it in writing. Right. But in hindsight now, you're like, oh man, I wish I would have known.
I have a friend. She started a resume writing business, and she's actually been doing really good. But when she first started, a mutual friend of ours contacted her to help her spruce up her resume. And at the time, she was only charging $20. That's nothing.
Really?
$20 is nothing. And the mutual friend was like, what? That's expensive, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is the same person who, are y'all familiar with shoes?
Yeah.
This is the same person who bought the Bel Air 5s when they first came out. Those shoes were not cheap when they came out. So you spent $200 some on some shoes, but you won't spend $20 on your future, your resume. You won't put $20 in your friend's pocket. Like, when the friend told me about that, I was disappointed because I'm like, well, she would go and spend $20 at Chili's with no question, but she won't give you $20 for this service. I just thought that was messed up.
Because we always assume, can I get a hookup?
Let me get a discount. Like, if I ever had a business and a friend of quote unquote friend of mine ever approached me and asked for a discount, okay, sorry, we're no longer friends, because you don't respect me, obviously, if you're going to come to me and ask for a discount, because I would never do that to you. I'm going to pay full price. I'm not going to second guess it. Even if you say, don't worry about it, I'm still going to pay you.
Now, if I offer you a discount, that's a different thing.
Yes.
You accept the discount, and there may be reasons behind it. Because we are friends, I might know more information and I might offer a discount, but don't think that I will not collect my means later. I'm not going to say money, my means later. Because when it comes down to your business, I'm going to say, hey, we working together on this, and I offered you that discount because of a situation.
It's a barter.
You didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
I gave it to you. And if you happen to give me one later, you happen to give me one.
But I'm not going to
ask for it.
Yeah.
I think it's out of respecting people's hustle.
Exactly.
And then sometimes people don't realize that, you know, entrepreneurs, the people who are trying to go out and follow and actually follow their dreams, that this takes time. It takes effort. It takes money. It takes
business is business.
Yeah.
And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out today. Okay. Again, I am David Linson. You can find me on all social media, but for right now, we're just going to talk about For the Culture. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at For the Culture. And also follow our parent company, which is M.E.C.C.A Entertainment, for this podcast and all of our other podcasts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we have Petra. How can we get a hold of you?
I am M.E.C.C.A Sherbin Fox on Instagram. That's my personal page. My business page is at A Second Chance 3_. And my Facebook is Petra Sherbin Fox and A Second Chance.
And Theda, how can we get a hold of you?
All right, I have a lot of social media pages, but I'll just give you guys a few today. All right, you can find me on Facebook. My first name is Theda. My last name is Shaw. You can find me on Instagram at ThedaNyree, and you can follow me on Twitter at YourMom'sAHoe_. I try to say it with a straight face.
We tried. All right, so everybody, what we're going to do, we have, for the next few weeks, we're going to change some things around. So next week, I'm going to do my solo podcast where it's just going to be me on the mic. The week after that, we're going to do interviews of our two new hosts. So first, we're going to have Petra. We're going to interview Petra about who she is, what she does, try to get in depth so you can understand who we are going to invite to the show. And then the week after that, we have Theda.
It's my turn.
Yes. We'll be doing an interview with Theda, and we get to learn who Theda is.
Cool.
Instead of just a voice on the mic.
Yes.
Then we're going to come back together, and then you will see the new face of For the Culture under M.E.C.C.A Entertainment. Thank you again, and y'all have a great day.
Bye.
Peace out.
Take a picture, man. It'll last longer. Hit the gas on them. Hit a dance on them. Take no chance on them. Get the cash on them. Flip it fast on them. Take off the mask on them. Show the world who you